Hello everyone, this is Fawad. Welcome to Future on Cloud. This is the continuity of Microsoft Azure from Scratch video series. In the last video, we talk about Microsoft Azure Storage Services and Microsoft Azure account type. So in this video, we are going to talk about virtual machine autoscaling. So let's dive in. Okay. So virtual machine autoscaling is a feature which is provided with almost all the cloud provider are providing this feature. Autoscaling mean to increase the number of PM based on the load, right? So there are two types of auto scaling, vertical scaling and horizontal scaling. In vertical scaling, when the load increase on your virtual machine, it increase the CPU and the memory capacity. And in horizontal scaling, it add up another instance based on the configuration. It is also called scale out, scale up, scale in. There are different terminologies which is being used. Scale in mean reduce the number of machines, scale out mean increase the number of machine, scale up mean increase the capacity of the machine, and scale down as reduce the capacity of machine. So there are different terminologies which is being used in the cloud. So auto scaling support manually increase or decrease the set of capacity based on a set schedule. You can specify schedule when you want to increase or decrease the capacity, and automatically based on the discovered traffic intelligence. Right? The benefit is if your application demand increase, the load on the VM increase, in your skill set increase, might, as I mentioned, if the load on the VM is increased, it will increase the VM based on your configuration scale or scale out. So let's dive in our production environment and let's see how we can configure it. So this is my Azure subscription. So in order to configure the auto scaling, you have to search for virtual machine scale set. It is not visible here. Again, you can type it and virtual machine scale set and you will find it, right? So just click on it. Right now, I don't have any. Then click on create. Select your resource group. Give it a name, FOC auto scale. Availability zone, you can select if you wanted to configure it in different zones, it's up to you. Otherwise, you can leave it as it is, it will remain in a single zone. Orchestration mode, the flexible and uniform. Achieve high availability at the scale with identical or multiple virtual machines. This is horizontal scaling. Optimize large scale stateless workload with identical instance. So security type is leave it standard. An image leave it with data center edition. If you are using Linux one, you can select appropriate image. And size is, let's go with this one. The cost is, let me go ahead and see if we can go with the cheapest. Okay, this is the cheaper one. Let's select this one and give it a name and the password. I hope password will match. Okay. Yes, I will use the existing license. Next is Spot. With default. Let's go with the default network. Load balancing none. By default, the minimum two instance will be created, and scaling we can say custom. Otherwise, we need to specify everything manually. So no need to use manual. If you wanted to leverage not scaling function, always go ahead with the custom. So the minimum number of instance will be one, and the maximum number of instance will be 10. If the load is keep increasing on your virtual machine, it will not go, the VM instance will not go beyond the 10 instances. So here you can specify the CPU threshold and duration in minutes. If the CPU threshold remains 75% for 10 minutes, then increase one instance. Or if you specify here 3, if the load remains 75% for 10 minutes, it will create 3 instances. So instead of going 3, this go with the 1. So if the load is 75%, it remain for 10 minutes, create another instance. And the scale in main, if the CPU load reduce from 75% to 25% on the available instances, then start reducing the number of instances. This is what is here. What does it mean? So the number of instances to decrease by one. And let's say our VMs start utilizing 75%. Let's say we have 5 virtual machines running in our workload, and we start with 2, and our traffic is increasing and it reached to 75%, then one instance is created. Again, the traffic reached to 75%, again another instance is created. And by increasing the number of instances, we reach up to, let's say, the 10 instances. And when the traffic start reducing and realize that the instance number 9 reached to 25%, then we send a command, or we configured it like reduce it by 1. So then our total number of instances will remain 9. And if the ninth one also reduced to 25%, the CPU utilization then decrease it by 1. Enable forecast for predictive autoscaling without any scale action. This allow you to view the comparison of predictive traffic that actually traffic without any predictive scaling. So if you want, you can enable it. So it will predict like for how many minutes your traffic will increase. All right, so disable this boot diagnostic automatic by OS, go with manual updates whenever you want. You can update it. Otherwise, if new updates comes in, and it will install automatically and system will be reboot. Then just click on review and create. So what it will do is, as we click on create, it will create a two instances based on the configuration which we have just provided. Okay, the validation is false. Let's go ahead and create. So the deployment is in progress. Just to give you an overview, the benefit of autoscaling. When the VM instances are created and your applications are deployed, the scale set start to distribute the traffic to them through the load balancer. So far, we did not select the load balancer. If you select the load balancer, it will start distributing the traffic. So as you can see, it start creating the network security group and connected with the virtual network. Now virtual machine scale set is in progress. Let me go ahead and pause the video. I'll resume it back once it is done. All right, so deployment is completed. So you can see auto scaling set is configured and it is, let's go to resources. Mm, Again, the resource group is the same and status 2 out of 2 both are configured. This is our Windows platform and this is our standard instance size. And let's have a look on the virtual machines. So as you can see, two instances are created as we have defined in the scale set. And this is the IP address of private IP and this is the public IP of one instance. And I select my subscription so that I can select. And here is my second instance. And this is the IP address of my second instance. If you want, you can connect it by clicking here and you can access it as well. Um, Inbound security role is not configured, so let me configure the inbound security role. Any source, any port, custom service, destination port 3389 at. Okay, 3389 is configured. Okay, let me go ahead and where it is. We can verify it here. If it is there, it will be a green checkbox. Okay, so let me access it again. So now it is asking for credential. So now you can configure it based on your requirement, and if the load remain within 75%, then we are good to go. If load increases and stayed for 10 minutes, the same instance will be replicated with the new one. All the required software will be available with the new instance, right? So the new instance is created. All right. So this is it for now about the virtual machine auto scaling. Stay tuned, keep watching. See you in next video. And by the way, the next one is quite interested topic This is migration of workload from on-prem to Azure. Then we will prepare a disaster recovery for VMware environment, and will at the end I'll show you the demo of failover to cloud and fail back to on-prem to VMware environment.